Hello, my loves. This is Corinne with Soulshift Channeling, and I am here for a pick a number reading. We're going to do 4 today, so choose 1, 2, 3, or 4. Tune into the guidance that you are looking for. And I'm going to challenge you and myself and all of us to be open to hearing things, to be open to hearing truth, and to have open hearts to receive the energy, attunement, and information that we need to hear, whether we're ready to or not. This is work I do with the Akashic Records. I have been reading publicly for a number of years now, and this has been probably the biggest part of practicing and developing channeling, is to have an open heart and mind to receive information, which is part of why it is helpful to channel for other people before yourself, or before. That's not always the case. Anyway, I digress. Let's skip that and get right into it. Join me in opening up this space if you would like to. We're going to tap in for the collective, specifically the Soulshift Collective. I appreciate you being here with me, and if you want to go ahead and skip to, if you already know the number that you're drawn to, go ahead and you can skip there as you like. So this is our opening blessing. All right, my loves. My center with your center, our center with all centers, our center as the one center. I enter the realm of masters, teachers, and loved ones of the Soulshift Collective and match our hearts and minds with theirs. Let us find through joy and wisdom the ability to open the universe and ourselves to greater possibility and deeper love. Eternal Source, fill our hearts with clarity and sacred power, and show us Soulshift Channeling's place of balance. Hear us now as we become one with the whole. When we are complete, release us in love and admiration, keeping our energy raised. The records are open. Okay, thank you for being here today. We're going to start out with a collective message for all of y'all here. The first thing I see is just kind of like folks lined up, kind of chairs, not sitting row after row, but just one kind of row. And I see pens and paper. I appreciate you guys being here. Yes, we are designing a new, better, more efficient, but more than efficiency, a more fulfilling, joyful, easeful space. And some of us gotta take notes, you know? I am a note taker myself, so I appreciate you guys here who are of the same mindset, you know? Sometimes we can feel and intuit and body move our way through changes, and sometimes we want to give our brains things to chew on. So shout out to all my girls and galleys and they thems who are intellectual or little brain crunchy beings. So yeah, feeling very close and connected with you guys. The next thing I see, yeah, I have gratitude for your patience, willingness, and as always, appreciate feedback for those who are willing and wanting to learn and shift and change. Part of my aspect as a teacher is to be the most clear disciple of the word being explained through me, and part of that is hearing what your guys' experiences are like. So if there is a better way that you like to learn, if there's a better way that you like to listen, I would love to hear that. I would love to hear about that. So drop it in the comments below. The next thing I see though is breaking out into small groups and having discussions of your own. And I love this. I love the energy that you guys bring to your people, to your families, to your consorts, to your cohorts, to your girls that you have these discussions with. It's just so important to me, not only just me, but to the mission, and the concept of mission being just the betterment of society and our world, and spaces where our energies can expand and thrive. And cohabitation is a learned process. It takes us time, and it takes us getting to know our ponds, our environments, more robustly. So I just love that commitment to discussion and key talking points, all sorts of good stuff. All right, it is time to move into our messages. So tune in to message 1. If you're looking for message 1, this is it. Are you ready? Let's go. All right, the first thing I see is like a bouncing ball, a basketball, and it feels metronomic, like a metronome. It feels very consistent, beat, measured. And like a basketball player might dribble the ball a little bit as they're kind of like scoping out and internally mapping the energetic field that's outside of them. Not only is it time for like the brain, and I'm hearing like the energy body to function, because so much of what our physical forms do is collect and share energy with our energetic form, right? Because that's really who's driving the bus here, or who we ideally want to be driving the bus if we're looking for a more embodied experience on the planet. Is we want our energetic forms who are tuned into so many more realms than what we have 3D access to right now. We want that kind of collaboration happening within us. And our soul knows what to do. Our soul's been in all of these places, and the more space we can, so that's our goal. But what I'm hearing is that as we are collecting 3D information, as we are holding our place and our personhood in a particular spot, so that way the energetic body can receive all sorts of energetic inputs, this beat and metronome, having a habit, a routine, a rhythm, or even just a steady heartbeat, tuning into your physical form, finding steadiness within you, however you personally find that, whether it is in routine or whether it's in your breath, right? Not only holds you in place, but it is part of your energetics way of tuning your physical form into correct service, into correct action, into correct servitude, in the sense of allowing your 3D physical body to be serving the higher form, right? The higher form of yourself that is tuned into higher intelligences that are always in our favor, friends, always in our favor. The energetic information that we get is always in our favor. And that's something that maybe a few of us need to beef up on, is the seeding intelligent programming in ourselves. This is something that we do have capacity to control in our 3D form, is making sure that the programming that we are watering in ourselves is one that is going to nourish us, is going to expand us, and is not going to derail us, cut us, or anyone else down. Because if you're cutting other people down, you're cutting yourself down, friends. If we can lead from a place of love and attunement and clear sight, and I'm not talking just love and light and not looking at horrible, disgusting, disruptive things, because it takes seeing it all to integrate and to evolve and to grieve. Because really that's what the disgustingness is coming up for. It's to be grieved, because it no longer belongs in our bodies, in our rhythms, or in our routines. And and this takes diligence. I am not going to lie. This is on my radar lately too, just to make sure our programming is running in a way that supports us in feeding and nourishing ourselves and stepping into the world in a way where we can make sure that we've got our own vibration on lock, and to make sure that we're able to maintain and integrate stub toes along the way. Yeah, because it's never two separate things. All right, anything else for this group 1? Yeah, the next thing I'm seeing is like, it feels like a ribbon, it feels like a slow ribbon dance, or even I'm also getting that like in Top Gun when they're flying jets and somehow like the zigzagging pattern of, not even a pattern, but just a read and response to the landscape. If you saw Top Gun Maverick, the most recent one, so much of what their mission entails is flying very close to the surface of the earth, and that flight pattern being very determined by the topography, the environment itself. This is true for you. Your ability to read and respond to the environment and space around you is essential, because there is this concept of needing to fly under the radar, and to fly under the radar, so to speak, and we'll get to that in a minute. It's important to fly really close to the earth. And if you're flying a plane really close to the earth, like the earth is obviously an immobile object, and you don't, like, the two are incompatible. You can't fly a plane on the earth. You're above the earth. And moving very fast. So just a encouragement, because I feel like you already know this, that your obsession, or like this concept of like needing to like understand every different aspect of the environment is not unfounded. You can kind of dial it back and not have to have a complete understanding of everything, but just really tune into your particular flight path, and to recognize that your particular flight path can be flexible and can change because you're weaving. Unlike Top Gun, where they had to go like, I feel like this very straight route, they were like in a canyon or a gorge. Not true for you. You can move, you have lateral capacity, you can move side to side. And the reminder is to prioritize this side-to-side movement above forward and ahead, forging ahead at all costs. It's not about advancing, would this be linearly? Advancing forward. It's more about learning how to move laterally in concert with forward progression, and recognizing that sometimes if you've got to dip back to go around a bend, sidestepping backwards is a way to go forwards. Now let's talk about flying under the radar, because that freaks some people out. And I get it. Being on someone's radar does not mean that you are going to be shot down. Being on someone's radar does not mean that you are under imminent threat. Being on the radar means that your position and your location is known. Let's not conflate these two, okay? To have our position and our location be known is quite helpful. It depends on who and what intentions are perceiving this precise location. It also depends on how current or up to date, like if there's any lag in the radar, right? Which I would use this to your advantage. Sometimes having a little bit of a lag in the radar is not a bad thing. This is like if you're going on a trip and you don't post the pictures till you come back. It keeps some environmental integrity, some energetic tightness around you. That's otherwise lost, while still informing people of your location, not necessarily your location, but like your energetic presence, what your energetic body is feeling like. And this is the most important part for you to be sharing right now. It's not necessarily your location, it's your energetic beingness. It's how you're feeling. Are you feeling happy, boisterous? Are you feeling okay, or are you feeling not okay? Do you need attention, or are you able to give attention? Like, that kind of check-in is what I'm hearing is important to share, not your precise location, because it's not about the location. And also, those who know you well know the habits of your flight path, right? It's like how you can kind of spot someone that you know very well across like a far distance where your eyeballs can't see their specific facial features, but you can just tell by the way that they are, how they're moving, who they are, right? And if you can tell the way someone moves, you can like kind of predict and understand their patterns. So just recognize that. I also got to remind everybody, there are no enemies following you in this group. That is not an energetic match for you. Get your mindset right. Get your mindset right. I am not an energetic match for enemies. I am not an energetic match for being hunted, being accused, being stalked. None of that. None of that. It's not happening. And it never will, because it's physically impossible in this energetic space. Okay, loves. Your homework, because I'm gonna give you some, if you choose to do it, which, like I said at the beginning, I feel like we've got note takers, so maybe we like homework, maybe we don't. I personally am not a homework girl, but I do like knowing what it is, so I'm gonna tell you what it is anyway, and that is to write yourself some, get your mindset right. The fear and the ookie cookies, like that feeling of like, I don't know if you ever had a basement when you were growing up, but that feeling of like, I don't know, there's a dark basement and I always felt the need to run up the stairs, right? Because it's like, ooh, creepy, you know? Any feeling that you have like that, I need you to get that out of you. It doesn't belong there anymore. And for you to either meditate on or write out and record mantras to liberate you from that path, which mostly is just like writing it out of your story. Like I said, of like, I'm not an energetic match for this. Only angels follow me. Like, only angels cross my path. Just whatever language that feels true and attuned to you. I need to be exercising some of that now. So many gratitudes. Thank you. Let me know how it goes. Yeah, let me know how you feel about homework assignments. I don't know. Yeah, we'll see how that keeps happening. All right, group one, big love. If you, like always, if you need additional support or if you want additional clear insight into your specific energetic patterning, check out my one-on-one sessions. Okay, big love. You got this. Group two. Why so blue? I am seeing what's her face from the Pixar movie about Inside Out, and she's played by the woman who plays Phyllis in The Office. She's always so sad, the sad girl. I cannot remember her name, but the sad emotion. And I just feel this like, it's almost like you're not even being vocal about your grief. But you need to. It doesn't have to be to a person. It can be to your plants. But I'm afraid I'm going to poison my plants. My love, remember how when we breathe out carbon dioxide, that will literally poison us if we have too much of it? That is to plants as oxygen is to us. That is their life. That is literally the part of the cycle that they rely on to breathe, okay? I need you to give your grief to plants. And I'm not talking about hatred, right? Because it's very different. There's a difference in giving, in projecting your own self-hatred onto another being, whether that's animate or inanimate, whether that's a living thing or, a stationary object, right? A typewriter. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about sharing your grief, sharing your sadness. Her name's Sadness. That's what it is. I'm talking about sharing your sadness with specifically plants around you. I feel like there's one in particular, a tree that knows your name, right? So it doesn't have to be a lot. And if you are not able to share physical presence with that tree, with that being, with that creature, energetically connect, my friend. Like, we are in 2025 right now, and we are also far more into the future than we think we are. We are able to telepathically connect with these beings and creatures across space and time. The tree could have been cut down 25 years ago and you can still connect with it. Yeah. Homework group here. The homework for you is do that. Please just give your sadness. And if you don't know what it is, if you're like, I know I have sadness. Okay, I dig deep. Go find some. Not that we need to bring more sadness into our lives, but because the group who is attached to and bringing in this message is particularly adept at processing grief. That's part of your role in what you do. And you don't always have to feel it in your body like you own it. I'm just saying that you are a you have a functionality that is a conduit for grief. And even if you're using some that's not your own, it still trains your own personhood how to handle and process sadness. Ooh, Lordy, because I heard there's a lot coming your way. And again, it may be yours, it may not be. But the group, I know that you're here to learn and to prepare. I know that we are preppers, perhaps not with physical goods, but at least with tools and functions. And I love you for that. And they love you for that. And I know you love yourself for that. Because while some people can see it as being preoccupied with the future, you know it for what it is. Because now I feel like there is grief and sadness of a time that you weren't attuned before, where you weren't prepared. And I hear you're saying, I wasn't prepared before. It wasn't about preparation, it was about attunement. There is nothing that you could have done to prepare for what happens. There is attunement to your own body's rhythms and capacities, and also attunement to your environment, which we spoke about in group 1 a little bit. It's just about attunement. You don't have to be prepared. You don't even have to. You want to be attuned, because attuned is being able to respond and see clearly through the mud. Okay, group 2, that's it for you. Let me know how it goes. I think you guys have got this. Okay. I'm here if you need support, but I think this one is yours. Okay. Group three. Kitty cat whiskers, group 3. Okay. I'm seeing like you know how cats will like weave between your legs sometimes? It's about getting your magnetic field right. Specifically, getting it right to receive. Getting it right to receive. This is not what cats are doing all the time. But a large part of the time, it's like steering the antenna. It's like, okay, also, I don't know if you guys ever had those when you were little, but I remember being at a playground and it was like one of those construction, it has like, not a bucket truck, that one of those, although that's important too, bucket trucks are those ones that utility companies use, and they have a bucket on a stick and it's on a truck. So some of you are attuning to electrical wires and transmission, and I love that. The reminder here for you is when you're dealing with heavy voltage, put gloves on, friend. Put gloves on. Don't be silly. And don't count on other people to flip the breakers, right? Yeah. Check it yourself. Inform the people around you and put gloves on anyway, okay? It's not the time to be messing around with that stuff. But back to the message of it's like a claw, not a claw, but like a scooper on an arm. and it's like the construction site things. And so, yeah, when I was little, there was a playground that had one of these, and it had two little wheelie things, and you would wheel one and it would move it this way, and then another one would control the arm, and another one would control the scooper. But I'm seeing two little things. It's kind of like those Etch a Sketches where you had two knobs on either side, or one knob on either side. And sometimes when you're learning those things, you can just use one and then just use the other, but there's a certain point where you have to let it become a felt sense thing, where you can't really you can think of it cognitively only so far, and then you have to kind of let your muscles, your body learn and intuit and internalize what that direction and wielding of that tool looks like. All right, I'm gonna rein us back in because I feel like we just got a big gap. So going back to the cat and just attuning yourself to, like allowing yourself to be attuned to receive, because I feel like this is the major task at hand right now. Is there are others coming around you and almost like weaving between your legs like a cat would. And I'm seeing like there's electrical charge passed off, like there's static, you know, fur rubbing, like, you know, there's static electricity. It can feel like a little prickly. Yeah, I hear that. Some people are allergic to cats. But just letting yourself be attuned, allowing others to kind of clarify and straighten your magnetic ley lines. And if you are nervous in the process, or if you need, or I don't know, sometimes you can feel antsy, and I'm seeing that part of the story where it's like, there's a mama frog and a baby frog who are in a pond, and there's like something that comes along, and mom just tells baby frog, like, just sit still, and baby frog like can't sit still. If you're feeling that baby frog energy of like just sitting still when that's what you really need to do, or it's difficult to receive, or you're used to have to doing the work, there are a lot of different reasons why one might have a hard time with it. Just like use a mantra. And everyone's getting homework today because this is such a studious group. I love it. Take it if you want to. You don't have to do the homework. This is life. You get to do whatever homework that you want and skip the rest, but it might just draw your attention to the right space. We'd like you to find a rhythm, a specific mantra, just one, that helps call you back into the moment of staying still while others work on you. I allow myself to sit still. I sit with myself as I receive. I am worthy of receptivity. I am worthy of care and attention. Come up with your own, whatever feels true for you. But I'd like you to hold yourself. And even if that means for some of you, because I'm seeing dissociation being a pattern, or one that has been a pattern in the past, and that's what like gives you the impetus to move, is to catch up with yourself that's dissociating, which is totally fair. Been there, done that. Still do it sometimes. Yeah. Find something you love so much that it forces you to sit still. Not forces you, that it calls you to sit still. Sit still with ice cream in your hand and let that ice cream be a reason to come back to yourself. Okay, I feel like we're getting a little muddy. I think what I hear is the people who got it, they got it. The people who don't. If it's silly and confusing, then that's the way it's supposed to feel. And then I'm seeing sprinkles on top of ice cream. This concept of like, you just sprinkle sprinkles on. It's not like you put them out in a particular pattern, but they always fall the right way. Okay, I love that, babes. That's it. Thank you, group 3. And I hear you guys don't want any help. Okay, my friends, I'll see you. I'll see you next time. For group 4. The first thing I see is doing cat cows. Do you know that yoga posturing where you got 4 on the floor, you arch your back, that's a cat, and then I guess you arch your back both ways, and then you kind of like flex your tummy out, and that's a cow. I feel a lot of like spinal movement and energetics for you guys right now. It's really about clearing the stop points. Like I'm seeing almost like border patrol or like border checkpoints. I'm feeling like in Europe, like it used to be where they would stop and check your passport. And since the EU came around, like I'm pretty sure you can move freely through and pass through border checkpoints. And it's just kind of like reminding your system this. I feel like there's energy that wants to like stop at each chakra or stop at each vertebrae or stop at each meridian point. And it's like, no, I know I got time for that. Like the flow of traffic is moving. You have a free pass through the body. And recognizing that your external gate points, right? Like your crown and your root, or like wherever energy comes into and out of your body, because it's different for different people. If it's your hands, if it's your feet, if it's your ears, whatever, your eyeballs, whatever. Your toes, a specific toe. I mean, traffic travels different pathways. Just trust those ones. Like all you really need is that external barrier to have discernment. And even that you can kind of loosen up. Like sometimes during peak travel seasons, I hear they hire extra military guards or extra guards who are just like kind of lookouts. They're not actively stopping traffic. They can cherry pick here and there if they see something that's sus, like if they see something that's like not even suspect but just like needs a little bit more information or just needs proper attunement, because a lot of time it's not the name of the game right now is not about keeping energy out of your body. It's just informing that energy how to enter your body correctly. You know what I mean? Like say we're like keeping with the car traffic theme, and it's like you see these party boys come in, right? And you're like, okay, they're hanging out the windows, whatever. And you like stop the car, and it's not to say, no, you can't come here. It's saying like, hey, those open alcohol containers have to go right now. Like traveling through this space is an alcohol-free zone. The stuff that's bottled up in your trunk is fine. It's gonna stay there. And not like putting it in a lockbox, right? But it's just energetically informing like, hey, these are the expectations. They're not rules, they're expectations. And that's different because you can respect people's bodily autonomy, but you can also inform them of like, if you want to be there, be here in this capacity, this is the expectation. And everyone has it, not just us at the gate. The people inside this space, the energy inside the body has the expectation that the energy moving through is acting a certain way. And if it doesn't, it's like, it's not even a like, if we catch you, it's like, if you do this, it will be known. And it's a non-option, and you'll be asked to leave. And we would love for you to stay and participate, and we would love to teach you and inform you on the ways that we celebrate, and the ways that we express rambunctiousness, and the ways that we channel energy here, because we want you to continue to do what you do, to be exuberant and to be joyful. We just want to show you the preferred way to do that while you're in this particular territory. Okay, that's pretty clear. Let's move on to the next. The second point for this group is I'm seeing beverage containers, and it's like, I don't know if it's necessarily a mocktail, but it's like a it's not a mocktail because it's not meant to have alcohol in it, and it's not meant to be an alcohol substitute. It's just an elixir, right? And yeah, this is my homework for you. Today is homework day. Choose to do it if you want. Skip it if you want to. You know, I'm not going to say I don't care, but I'm not attached to a particular outcome for you. You are in charge of your body, and you know how you like things done. So if you would like a tasky, here it is. If that's not for you, you can just listen to it. Create a beverage of choice. I'm choosing 3 or 4 ingredients and recognizing the potency and the capacity that each has to carry. I'm seeing like pickle juice, lemon juice, sparkle water, salt, coriander, like all sorts of different things. It can be imaginary things. I don't know if you, I'm sure, of course you guys did this when you were little, of like, you know, when you're in the bathtub or you're outside or you're like mixing concoctions together and you're like, this is blue, blue, blah, blah, and this is da, 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 right? And you're just naming and making up ingredients, and you're like shredding up leaves and adding it to shredded sticks, and those are different, you know what I mean? You're concocting, right? This can be literal. This can be figurative in a different part of your life, or this can be totally imaginary. But choose 3 or 4 ingredients to kind of play with. Get to know and understand the energetics behind each of these tools, each of these, because for some of you, this is figurative. It's not necessarily beverage. It's like a habit pattern that you do in the morning, right? Like brushing your teeth is one ingredient, and like tying your shoes is another ingredient, right? And like how you mix them and the order you do them in changes things, right? And for some of you, this is like, yeah, I'm literally gonna mix this stuff up. I'm gonna do it with alcohol even. Like, I don't, you know, but I want you to try and experiment with a couple of different things. So pick 3 or 4 ingredients. Step 1. Step 2, identify the energetic impact or the role that each of those ingredients or steps or patterns or habits has, either on you physically or energetically. And then step 3, start mixing them up in different orders and using different quantities, right? What happens if I step up my meditation practice in the morning and take it from 1 minute to 17 minutes? What if I cut down my meditation practice in the morning from 30 minutes to 5? What does that look like? And if I do that, then what does my like affirmations in the mirror self need to look like? Or what does my breakfast experience need to look like? Like if I cut down on my meditation, do I need to spend more time cooking for myself in the morning? Like, are those two interchangeable, right? Like, what do substitutions look like, right? Like if you're making a drink, like, or like people talk about baking, like substituting applesauce for egg whites or something like that. You know, like there are some things that you wouldn't expect that you can swap out, but that will really surprise you. And I'm not talking about entirely swapping out things, but just like dialing one up and dialing one down. What does a 1-to-1 ratio look like on the energetic impact of your life? Okay, that's it, group 4. If you want particular guidance, because I think this group might, yeah, I offer one-on-one sessions. Basically, I do the same thing where it's channeling, but with your particular soul's Akashic record. And we can get info on what kind of like remixing, what kind of energetic support, what kind of like wherever you are at and navigating your energetic and soul experience in the world. We can get information that supports like whatever your current goals are. It's a consult. It's basically like like a navigation consult, or like it's like if you're driving and you see a side view mirror or rear view mirror, it's a mirror. It's a mirrored perspective of things that you might not be able to see, or you just want to confirm with your passenger, like, hey, it looks clear over here. Is that right? Can you check? That's kind of level. And then it scaffolds up into much deeper support if you're looking for additional information. So check out my one-on-ones if you feel like you want that kind of navigation support in your life or need some reflection aspects in your life. Okay, my loves, that's it for group 4. All right, we're going to come back to the collective. I'll go ahead and close this out. What happens when I do this channeling is I open with a blessing and prayer, and usually information comes in for the collective. That's just kind of opening imagery and metaphor. And then I'll close out this channeled connection as well. And that usually comes with the last little tidbit too. So you can, not always, but I'll have them marked in my videos of like the opening and the closing. Sometimes I do that outside the video and sometimes I do that inside the video. So today this is inside the video. You have access to that information, and let's get at it, babes. In love and light, I thank our masters, teachers, and loved ones for their information and guidance. Amen, amen, amen. The records are closed. The last thing I see is like a game of marbles. And it's the kind where it's like you draw a circle with chalk and then you have a big marble and little marbles and something about like knocking marbles out. But the name of the game lately is Knocking Marbles In, and a collaborative effort, and it almost actually feels like not the normal game of marbles. This is like telepathic, or I forget, what is it called? Telekinesis, where you can use your mind to move things. It's like telekinetic marbles, and I see like a whole group of muddy-faced kids, right? And they're just so enthralled and staring intently at this, at all these marbles, and just like the cheers and the camaraderie, right? I feel like we can be in the trenches, right? Like we can have tear-stained, dirt-striped cheeks, and we can still come together around a game of marbles. And we can make it a really long time. Like if we have a disruptor or a number of disruptors, we can play that way. I hear, I don't want to. I don't either. Recognize the people that you're working with. A lot of our paths are as disruptors. A lot of our rhythms disrupt cleanliness, disrupt precision, disrupt a certain type of game. And it's very important to know when and where you are a disruptor, because there are, structures that need to break. And maybe not break like be torn down, but I mean, some of them do. There are structures that need some wiggle room put in them. It's like when you're playing pool and like all the balls are like a little bit too tight. Sometimes you just need to like get up there and like break up the cluster a little bit, right? But I'm calling all my disruptors, I'm calling all the disruptors to be using their disruption for construction. Using our disruption for construction, knowing when and where to exercise, identifying partners and key players, key constructors, key people who are trying to build and create and shape systems. Identify partners there because they need you. Just because you're a disruptor or someone who's like used to and really adept at tearing things down or shaking things up or making more space, just because that's what you do does not mean you're not invited to a construction party. By all means, friend, come, because when we are developing new systems and new roles and new worlds, we need to do some troubleshooting. We need to build things and then take them apart and understand why they're not working, how they can work better, and to take the pieces apart sometimes. Like you have to like 1 step forward, 2 steps back, or 2 steps forward, 1 step back. And we need that process. And the best way to exalt your beingness and to stay in the game, because it's not They don't want you out of the arena. They don't want you out of the arena. They want your collaboration. They want your constructive criticism at a time when they're able to use it, and at a time where it's necessary and helpful. And sometimes you have to wait to be invited. And even if you see that things are being built wrong in the process of them being built wrong, it don't matter, because the constructors are the construction workers, right? And if you are a destruction worker, right, as a destruction worker, you know intimately what's a good and poor execution of construction, because you know the other side of it, right? But it doesn't matter how much you know, because if you're not the one who's able to construct it, the one who's able to put it together, the destruction has no use. So allow yourself some time to grieve. Don't take your eyes off the game, because we need you up to speed when your time has come to play your part and play your role. And expect to be called upon more often, and often in like smaller capacities. Like, I feel like you've kind of been used to knocking the whole tower down, because that's kind of where it was at. But once you build a relationship with people who are building and they ask you your opinion more often, you'll probably be taking apart smaller and smaller components because you're being consulted more often. So a call and a reminder to fine-tune your skill so that way you can work within that precision. And yeah, just be open to it and be ready to step back, knowing you will be called upon again. I'm going to say that one more time. For the people in the back, know when to step back, knowing that you will be called upon again. And so you can do so comfortably, with ease, and with security and trust. We're talking about secure relationships. Okay, loves, that is it for channeled content for today. If you want to learn more about what I do, check out my website. Follow me on Instagram. Follow me on YouTube. I'm even on TikTok. And I would love to learn more. I am here to exalt your practice and journey, to give you you are here to be empowered, and I am part of the process of empowering you, of helping you wield and be aware of the tools that you've been given and that you're developing. I'm here to champion you and cheer you on, but mostly to show you what it looks like to be empowered and true to yourself, because that is truth for all of us. All right, my loves, thank you for being here, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.